I look like shit, bro.
Every time we start recording, you say that.
But I actually look like shit this time.
Do you not look in the mirror before you start?
No. Why is my face so wide?
Yeah, next to mine, isn't it?
Yeah, yours is like slim line. You're like a Merc and I'm like a Jeep Wrangler. Look at Chaplin. Oh my god. This cat, he's right here, literally dips his whole face in water when he drinks it. And he's got like a wet beard. Let me see the wet chin.
It's water off it.
Anyways, today we are doing something a bit different. We are not answering a question. The reason is because we've got so many questions and
we couldn't pick.
So we thought, why not do a video that you guys have been waiting for ages? Tips on the first year of marriage and the first night, shall we say?
It's not even tips. We're just going to talk about what the first year of marriage is like.
Are we just going to talk about it?
Well, yeah, that's basically what we end up doing.
We'll give some tips as well.
And the reason this video took so long to end up doing is because originally we were going to like script it and it would be like acted and it would be a funny sketch.
We'll still do a sketch for your channel. It'll be a good one.
Yeah, if we ever get round to it.
Yeah, if we ever get round to it. Which we hopefully will if we're not
Inshallah.
busy. Inshallah. Really, this should be more of a survival guide. Yeah.
You start with what your expectations were and I'll start with what mine were. And then we'll tell you what it was actually like.
My expectations.
Yeah, what were you imagining?
To be honest, I really wasn't imagining much.
Oh. Okay.
I was just like, it definitely wasn't what it turned out to be. I expected it to be not so hard. Because the first year of marriage is, yeah, probably the most difficult time of our relationship. It has
that
been.
And having a baby.
I think the first year of marriage takes over the baby one. Because the baby one, you're kind of busy, you're doing stuff together, blah, blah, blah. You've got no time to think about things. Whereas the first year of marriage is just like you're nitpicking at absolutely everything and anything. And it's kind of like everything's up in the air. You don't know who you're living with. You don't know this person. You don't know the actual person. Let me just tell you, you don't know your spouse until you live with them. Trust me.
Very true.
Because when you live with them, it's just like, oh, I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you were like this. Like, it's nice to have distance. When a person is in your face 24/7, it is not a good look for a relationship. It really is not. You're like, he's talking too much.
Yeah.
The plus side of the first year of marriage for me was I was working a 9 to 5, and sometimes it was like
it was more like 8 to bloody 8.
8 to 8. Sometimes it was just like really late at night. It was like all over the place. I was working a lot, and I was going out every morning. I would barely see Dina, and when I'd see Dina, it'd be nice. But
it was nice, but you were also very tired.
Yeah, I was also very tired, but it was still nice.
Definitely.
So throughout the week was fine because we barely saw each other. But come the weekend, I don't know what it was, but we had so many flipping arguments, like so many, and they were some volatile arguments. They were
they were ugly.
They were ugly arguments.
They were really
like
ugly.
They were like we were 12 or something. It was like
they were horrible.
They were the worst arguments we've ever had, and they were all in the first year. There hasn't been arguments that were at that scale any other time. They were all in the first year.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had other ones, but
we've had other ones close,
they haven't
like in
been.
the second year and stuff.
Yeah, but
but not like the first year recently. Okay, my expectations were, oh my god, I'm marrying my best friend.
Aww.
I'm gonna be moving in with him. I'm basically gonna be living fully alone for the first time ever in my own place. We can do it up how we like. Like, it's so exciting. It's literally our own place. I was so excited to have my own place with Sid. Because before that, I'd only ever lived with my family, or I lived before in a shared house of Muslim girls. So this was totally different, and it was really exciting, obviously. And I was like, oh, he's going to go to work. I'm going to make him breakfast in the morning. When he comes back from work, I'm going to be wearing these cute little things. And it's going to be so nice. And, you know, and at the time, I was like blogging and doing YouTube videos. And I also had my lazy doll scarf business. So I was doing that during... So basically, when we got married, that's what I was doing during the day. And then Sid would help me when he comes home from work, or he would help me on the weekends do it. But that's how I kept busy during the day. I was still doing YouTube, and I was selling my scarves and things like that. But it wasn't like a proper full-time. It was still a hobby that made me a bit of money. Yeah, so those were my expectations. And then obviously we moved in together, and you know, our wedding time was the most stressful time of our entire lives, of our relationship, 100%. And so we came back from honeymoon, we moved in, and it was all really stressful, and it just didn't go as smoothly as we thought it would. Yeah. And basically, I had a massive jealous streak in me.
Oh yeah, you did.
So like there was even times like when me and Sid would go out on the weekend when we're married, but I couldn't enjoy myself because I was just constantly...
She was so paranoid.
I was constantly getting pissed off, like if it was summertime, getting pissed off at the amount of nudity that is just in front of his face. And I'd just be getting pissed off because I'm like, if he fucking looks up, he can see arse. Like, what the fuck? So annoying.
I know. I remember your mood used to just change.
All of a sudden, innit?
And then I used to be like, what's wrong? And then all day you were in a mood, and then you wouldn't tell me until the end of the day, and it was that, and I was just like...
Yeah, and because I'd see Sid look for a second, but he's not going out of his way to like look. He literally just like looked in that direction, and there was, you know, so in my head I'm just like... Oh, things like that used to get me, man. So annoying. Like, I find it, like, listen, right? Anyone can wear whatever the hell they want. But sometimes, you know, when girls wear things that are, like, really cleavage and arse out and, you know, you're looking fine as hell, you're not considering other girls' feelings here. Basically, in the first year of marriage, I was so insecure. I became the most insecure person ever, which is so sad because... When Sid met me, I was a loudmouth.
You were a loudmouth, confident.
Yeah, and I was so confident in myself, man. I really was. I was just like, I'm the bee's knees, mate. But first year of marriage, that all went down the drain, which is shit. And it took me ages to get confident again. So a lot of the arguments were petty things, you know, like that. But a lot of the arguments were like just issues that we had. And things that we didn't see eye to eye in. And
I think a lot
adjusting.
I mean, straight off the bat, one tip I would give to any couple, not just Muslim couples, especially Muslim couples, because you have a lot of culture going on and stuff. If you've got an opportunity, put your foot down and don't do the big wedding. Don't do it. Do not do it. If there was one thing I could take back,
I would have a wedding like my sister's.
It would not be the big wedding.
Yeah, that's so true.
It really caused so much.
And by the way, our wedding
shit.
Isn't even considered big.
Yeah, 300 people we had.
No, it wasn't. It was 150.
Well, it seemed like fucking 1,000.
It was 150 in the actual wedding.
But I'm just saying, like, it was a big kerfuffle and stuff, and that just sets you up.
It's the planning that's the kerfuffle.
Just sets you up to have a really bad first year.
Not to say that if you don't, you won't have a bad first year, but that really added to it.
Yeah, if there was one thing we could take back, it would definitely be that. I know for a fact. We could have grabbed all that money and spent it the first year travelling.
Yeah.
It's so much money.
Or just had it for the first year because we were so skint.
We were so skint on the first year.
Yeah, we were quite skint. Yeah. But that's not to say that you won't have those problems regardless. But, you know, this is all really subjective. What's considered
subjective.
What's considered a big wedding and stuff. So,
It's...
like, if you just go smaller than what's normal in your family and what you guys normally do, you'll be less stressed.
I don't think it was...
But wait, for a girl, you always dream of wearing your wedding dress and all that stuff. Obviously, nobody wants to take that away from you. Still do that, but it could just be... The event itself could be just a little bit simpler, that's all.
I think it was more of the pressure of having to perform and making sure everything goes smoothly.
And pleasing so many people. Pleasing everyone other than us.
Look, I don't want to be
It's true.
I don't want to be like... a big head or anything, but our wedding, I know you guys haven't seen it, was still considered the best one.
Apparently.
Among everyone.
Apparently all the guests really enjoyed our wedding, even though it is nothing compared to like what you guys probably imagined. It was all very DIY.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we did it all ourselves.
Sid did most of it.
Like, we really worked our butts off for the wedding. We really did. So it was just like...
I remember I did the centerpieces. They're so shit looking back.
But I'm just saying, like, we put so much pressure on ourselves to please people, and that's where you go wrong.
Yeah,
you please
really
yourselves.
Have to just please yourselves, guys.
Please yourselves. It's your day. Please yourselves.
Honestly.
Forget about everyone else, man.
Yeah. And that includes family. Forget about family.
Just please yourself, man. We were scraping on the honeymoon, remember?
Yeah. We were scraping for our spending money.
Yeah, we were... when we were like, why did we spend all that money on that just one day when we could have enjoyed it?
Yeah, on an amazing hotel. But here's another piece of information for you. You're not always going to lose your virginity on the first night.
So let's talk about the first night.
Okay.
This is where we talk about the first night.
Yeah.
The first night, what did we do? We went to sleep.
Wait, hold on. Wait, everybody thinks, because as Muslims, like, you're not supposed to have sex before marriage and blah, 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 all that stuff. So a lot of Muslims, when they get married, they are virgins. And so there's a big expectation that you lose your virginity on the wedding night. But
I think everybody thinks that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that. But in reality, a lot of people don't. And that, I think, a lot healthier. Because think about it like this, guys. If you have barely dated, or let's say if you dated loads as a Muslim, right? But you have not had any intimacy in any of the relationships, yeah? And you've never lived with a guy before. You go on your honeymoon and you move in with them. And all in that space of time, all this crazy shit is happening.
Yeah.
Life changes, huge life changes. And at the same time, you're supposed to lose your virginity. Something an area that has not been touched. You get me?
By the way, I know you guys are going to call bullshit, but I was a virgin as well.
Yeah, everyone's going to call bullshit on that.
Call bullshit all you want, yeah.
Yeah, so we were both
Well, I was
virgins.
a virgin, we were both virgins.
So imagine two virgins trying to lose their virginity and really not having a clue. I mean, I know you've watched porn like twice in your life or something.
Okay.
No, but it's true because everyone's going to go, oh, guys know what they're doing because they just watch porn.
I mean, you can watch something, but do you know what? Have you ever watched one of Dina's scarf tutorials and gone off the video and just went, yeah, I know exactly how to do it. Done.
No.
It doesn't work like that, does
Yeah.
it? The real thing is not the same as watching a video. It really isn't.
Yeah, but anyway, we don't advise to watch porn to learn how to do it because that is not a realistic representation of marital sex or any relationship sex.
I remember the first time I watched porn, but that's a completely separate subject, and I wasn't on my own.
That's a different video.
That's a different video.
Anyway.
Anyways, so the first year of...
Wait, we're going back to the first night.
The first night...
So the expectation, and there's a lot of pressure on girls as well.
I just want to say, right? Can I just say something?
Yeah.
So the only people who think they're going to lose their virginity in the first year of marriage are people who are not married. You awaken after marriage that, that actually doesn't happen. No, it does happen for some people, but
that's fine, but...
I'm talking about people who are in our position and our circumstance. It is very slim. It's very slim to get two virgins, right? And the first night, when there hasn't been a lot of touchy-feeliness, blah, 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 and, you're completely not comfortable with each other.
Or looky.
You're completely not comfortable with each other, like,
naked.
Body to body wise, 100%.
Yeah.
And then you go and lose your virginity. Highly unlikely, unless the guy forces it.
And
you know
the
what
thing
I mean?
is, that happens a lot. Most of the people I know that have lost their virginity on the first night of marriage, it was a kind of like they just took the pain and the guy just literally forced it in on the night. And to me that is horrendous. That's actually horrendous. They basically were like crying on the night. It's like the worst thing ever.
It's not a good way to set up the marriage, you know what I'm saying?
Painful.
Straight off the...
So painful.
And how you guys going to enjoy your honeymoon after that as well? I mean...
Well, do you know how there's a lot of people...
So what we did on the first year of marriage, our first night of marriage, basically we just had like a little heart-to-heart and blah, blah, blah. The nicest bit for me was we actually prayed together.
Yay! We prayed together for the first time as husband and wife.
So that was nice. So we
That's
actually
what we
prayed
did.
together, and then we just had a heart-to-heart, blah, 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 and then we talked a little bit, and we went to sleep.
We were so tired.
We were so
how
tired.
we
The
were.
sleep was amazing.
And we'd barely eaten, because you can't eat in your own wedding.
But we did tick the breakfast.
Yes, so we got breakfast the next morning. That was good.
And that was like the highlight as well.
Yeah.
And do you know what was funny? I haven't been. do you know what was funny, right? So this is how much I'm not used to being around a woman that's in hijab, right? So we ticked all the breakfast thing and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And Dina goes, yo, that's the guy at the door knocking. He's going to bring it in. So she goes, oh, I'm just going to hide in the corner. Yeah, you just get the trolley and bring it in. I didn't think twice, so I knocked at the door and I let him in.
He walked straight past me, and I'm just there behind the wall like this.
He went like, what the fuck? And he just walked out. Because she was there like that.
Because I didn't have my scarf on. And then Sid realised later, he was like, oh.
I was like, oh. But that's the only time that's happened.
Yeah.
But I'm just not used to it. Yeah, now I am, because,
Now he's like, yo, the pizza guy's here, hi.
Yeah. But that was my only slip up, and it was on the first day. People please, I just want to say, when you get married, do not force it. That's probably the worst thing you can do, is force it. Take your time, enjoy your fucking marriage. You'll have sex.
Also, like, it might take, a few days or a few weeks or whatever to actually break the virginity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll happen like, gradually.
Basically,
it's too much information. We don't want to go into too much information, but take your time.
We won't tell you how long exactly, but basically, when it happened for us was when we had come back from honeymoon, and it was about a week later after we'd finally just about settled into our new apartment.
That it's more about being comfortable than anything. And I'm being obvious here. For the bloke, it's not really anything, but it's
not painful for you at all, is it?
Yeah, no, it isn't.
Not
but if you want to be a
considerate
dude, right? Don't force things. Really don't.
Let me tell you, it is
and
horrific pain.
And just well, that's subjective. Some people.
It is subjective.
Okay, for some people it's painful. For some people it isn't. But you, as a bloke, you need to be considerate, right? Don't go on fucking rabid fucking dog. Yeah. And just your time will come. You will have sex. Don't worry about it. Yeah. I can imagine how traumatizing it could be if a dude was to force it. Like, that is. And
by the way, this is subjective again, but for some girls, they literally feel like they have a brick wall and nothing is gonna pass.
Not too much information, but when it did happen, we were like, what the fuck, it just happened. You know what I mean? It was like when we were completely comfortable, we weren't thinking about it.
Yeah. But also, I think it's because we were kind of like easing our way into it for however many weeks before it actually suddenly just went, oh.
This is horrible.
It's true because hold on, this is the big misconception a lot of people have. They're literally like, oh, you lose your virginity and then you bleed on the bedsheet and you've lost your virginity and that's it. And that might be for some people, but for some other people, right, you could like be trying and then you bleed, and every time you try you have a little bleed, and then when you finally do it, it's a big bleed, and then you've done. You know what I mean? So it's very, very different for everyone.
Anyways, forget about the too much information. We'll just carry on with the rest of the first year of marriage. So then we enjoyed our honeymoon and stuff. The honeymoon was good. I enjoyed it. Looking back at it, I know...
we didn't do much.
We didn't do much, and we said Marrakesh was shit. And again, it wasn't really shit. We just didn't know where to go. So don't get triggered. What are your regrets for the first year of marriage? What I would have done more, and I think what both of us should have done more, is literally not taken much to heart. And just
not being so sensitive about
certain things.
Things that we're literally looking back at now and laughing at.
Yeah. Try to understand each other more. And it's another thing, when you're in the first year of marriage, all your emotions are all over the place. And it takes a lot to see where the person is coming from, to put yourself in that person's shoes.
I would have gone out on dates more. I would have carried on dating after marriage.
Yeah, carried on dating.
Just like we were before we got married, and we'd always want to see each other and go out and do stuff. I would have carried that on.
A part of why the first year of marriage was so difficult for us, and there's millions of people there in the same position as us, is we come from different backgrounds and we have different cultures. So I think what a couple needs to do in the first year of marriage is come to an agreement or a balance. The thing is, right, in a marriage you have to meet in the middle. You have to let some things go, and you have, and the other side needs to let some things go. And I think that's how.
Here's a good piece of advice for the girls out there who are getting married. Pick your battles.
In what sense?
Like, honestly, like, there are so many times where I literally wanted to have a problem with you over that. But then as I matured, and now even, I'm like, I can let that pass. Like, I don't need to get so about that.
That comes to sensitivity.
There are some things later on that I know I'd be way more annoyed about, that I'd much rather talk to him about than these things that I know I could probably just be fine with.
Ooh, this is a big one. You've reminded me. Do not talk to your family about your problems.
Yes, so all those petty little things that we're saying, that we argued about and stuff, don't go back to your sister, don't go back to your mum, don't go back to anyone in your family and say, oh, he was arguing with me because... Don't go back and talk about your petty arguments, because your family won't forget that about your partner, but you will forget it.
You will forget it within an hour. They will never forget
You will forget it, and you will be back to normal with your spouse, whereas they'll have this thing in the back of their head like, oh, he's shit because he did this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, or she's shit because she did that, or he or she, they're not good enough for my son, daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they start talking. Yeah.
Having said that, if there are big issues, major warning
if there are
signs,
major issues, then
major dangerous things, like he might have threatened to lay a hand on you, things like that, then I'd say go tell your daddy straight away.
But you need to tell them. You don't tell everyone. You need to tell your parents.
Yeah, you pick one don't tell your siblings. Just go and tell, like, you know, someone who's
level-headed.
Yeah.
Who you know, when there's bigger issues, sometimes because you're in a marriage, you have to approach them in a certain way, because you never know what some siblings will do. I know in certain situations your husband or wife does certain things. You need to think about them as well when you're approaching your family about certain situations, because they will outcast that person in a fucking split second, especially if they dislike them. And a lot of people do. Unless
that man is literally like beating you up.
Yeah, then it's a different situation. It's you know, we can't talk about every single subject, but you know, you kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. Be very careful about what you keep private and what you let other people know, and especially with friends as well.
Oh my God.
You have to keep things private.
Okay, so sometimes you need to tell family about certain things. With friends, I think it's best not to talk about your personal situation in any way whatsoever, unless you literally have no family and your friends are like this, are like your family. So I was addressing women when I was talking about that, because we like to talk about things with our girls, obviously. I think it's more important actually for the blokes not to talk to their male friends about...
Oh, that's a definite no-no.
Because you'd be surprised how many guys do.
That's a definite no-no.
Talk about their wives
I've heard of guys like showing their mates their wives without a hijab on and shit like that.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just like,
that is ridiculous.
Are you fucking dumb?
That's awful. That's awful because there's so much trust lost there.
Yeah, there is. You, as a husband or a wife, you need to have this conscious effort in your head, like, not to lose the person's trust. And I know it's difficult when the other person's just got issues. Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah, but you also had issues.
Yeah, I know. We made that effort, and I think that effort needs to be a conscious one to make sure the other person in the relationship feels secure. Do you know what I mean? Because security is a big part, especially for the woman.
Trust.
Security and trust will literally make or break your relationship.
And by the way, so when I talk about trust, I'm not just talking about, oh, I trust him with other women and like he's not going to cheat on me. I literally trust in every aspect of life. Like if I tell you something and I say don't tell this to anyone, I literally mean do not tell anyone. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trust in every aspect. Trust that he's going to have my back in certain situations. Trust that when certain things are happening without me, he's not going to, you know, join in on like backbiting. Like he's going to stand up for me in certain situations when I'm not there. Trust in every aspect, not just like with other people.
No. And I mean it across the board. I don't mean it in that sort of thing as well. Let me clarify what I mean. I mean literally, even if it's the littlest thing, do not lie about it.
Yes.
Even if it's the littlest thing. And sometimes people lie about the smallest minute details.
Yeah, for no reason.
And then they get caught out. And it's just like, why the fuck did you lie about that?
There's no need to have lied.
If there is no need for you to lie, don't lie. You know, actually, even if there's a need, do not lie. Lying will ruin your relationship.
It will ruin
how you see.
It
will ruin how you see how the other person in the relationship sees you. Because if the trust is gone, you might as well say bye-bye to your relationship. And that's what I'm saying. What we did was pretty good, is we tell each other everything. And that is the best.
The tiniest thing, even if it's like something like I don't really need to know, or like if Sid maybe was on a call earlier on in the day and I wasn't even inside the house, but something has evolved from that call that he needs to do now, he'll fill me in on it. I need to know about it, because if he suddenly has to go do something and then, I don't know, and then like...
If there was
just everything.
If there was lies in the first year of the marriage, I think we'd be over. Yeah, literally. Because that's one thing that we kept to. We never lied to each other, and we always tell each other everything.
Yes.
Every single detail. literally we tell each other everything, and I think that is good. There's some couples that don't even let the other person go on their phone.
Yeah, there's a whole thing about that, you know. Like when we were watching I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here the other day, and they had that question about you know, who's more likely to look through their partner's phone, the man or the woman. And all the men were going, I'd never look through my partner's phone. I'd never look through my partner's phone. And I'm just there thinking, like,
what's the problem?
What's the big deal if you
What's
look,
the big
like,
deal?
why, if there's trust there, like, I literally use Sid's phone all the time and he uses mine
We've
all
got our
the time.
fingerprints set up on both our phones.
Yeah.
Because it's normal.
Like,
it is normal.
Why would you be offended? It's not, I know he's not snooping on me. I don't think that's the big deal.
No, there's not a problem with any text. There's not a problem because you are married. You guys are one. Like you're that's the whole thing about marriage. Everything needs to be out in the open with each other.
Honestly, if you guys have access to your phones, each other's phones, then the trust is
solid.
Is more likely there, I think.
You have a good.
If you both have this thing like, I respect him, I'm not going to go through his phone, like you just putting questions in your head all the time.
Exactly.
You guys should be open and be able to use each other's phone.
I think the respect is there more so if you're allowed to go through each other's phone. Obviously, there's more respect there because
we're never snooping. We're never sneakily like. If I need to use your phone, if I'm bored of my phone and I feel like going on yours for a bit, I'll go on your phone. It's not going to be like, oh, let me do it while he's in the bathroom. Like I'll go on his phone. Like it ain't a big deal.
It ain't a big deal. Some people literally that's the thing, right? There needs to be open communication about absolutely everything.
The thing is, when you get married and you guys are living together, and then when you have kids and you built a household together, if you're working together like us, you guys are literally one.
Yeah,
you're literally
that's what I mean.
A partnership. So there cannot be anything that is like literally Sid knows everything about me, and I think I know everything about Sid. Like,
shut up.
Well, you know, sometimes.
Do you know what?
The thing is with Sid, he doesn't find it as easy to like open up as much as I do.
I know literally everything about Dina because Dina doesn't keep anything bottled up.
Dina doesn't shut up.
My instinct is to keep things bottled up, and that's just the person I am. If Dina doesn't know something, nobody knows it. That's the thing. Yeah. No one knows it.
Yeah, me too. By the way, I do have some things where I won't tell you, but I won't tell it. Like nobody knows.
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Like nobody will know that.
And that's fine. That is fine. Yeah. Obviously, you know, it just depends on the type of person you are. But there just has to be like communication is key in a relationship, in marriage. It is key. You need to talk to each other, and if you do not talk to each other, then what the fuck is the point?
And also, by the way, guys, like honestly, marriage is like it's a partnership based on very loyal friendship.
You're friends, basically.
That's what I think.
You're friends. You need to be able to do absolutely
like this is actually
together.
Your best friend.
Yeah.
Like your best
like
friend.
you have best friends, but really breast friends. Really the person that you're married to should be your actual best friend. Literally.
Like for real.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we got a few minutes left. But I just want to say, after the first year of marriage, it gets considerably easier, and I don't know why that is.
All of a sudden, isn't it?
I really don't know why that is.
It's literally like you hit the first year anniversary, and then all of a sudden, suddenly, like things aren't as petty.
Yeah, there isn't so much pressure. You don't care anymore. You really do not care, especially after when you have the kid. You do not care. Everything literally just goes out the window. You're just like, I really couldn't give a shit. I really cannot be bothered with an argument right now. Like, just leave me alone.
No, literally, that's true.
If there isn't any major problems, stick it out because that is something that I do not regret at all, is sticking it out, right?
Yeah.
We stuck it out, and at the time, if we thought, oh, fuck this is too much, right? Come 2017, we would have regretted it. We would have been like, oh shit, maybe I should have stuck it out and just, you know.
Maybe he was the one.
Yeah.
You know?
Just stick it out. After the first year, you can decide.
Yeah, I reckon at least try the year, you know?
Try the 1 year. People who break up before 1 year, you might have made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know for sure. It depends on your...
That's why I said might have.
Yeah, on your situation, but...
If anybody wants a part 2 of this, let us know. And
let us know and leave the questions in the comments so that we can actually compile them and answer it more structured.
It'd be a good one. Yeah, give us some questions in the comments on anything that you didn't get your answers on. And
anything you think we missed out.
there will be a part 2. We will carry on doing questions, but sometimes I think we'll bring this in. Anyways,
Alhamdulillah.
we got to go pick up Hannah, so we will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.